class. He went through the orphanage, wherever he was, smartest boy in the class. He went to divinity school, top of his class. Boom, he was outshining everybody. And this guy was a meteor. Okay, here's a little Jewish boy whose parents got killed in the Holocaust. He became the Archbishop of Paris. Hold it. At the time he was Archbishop of Paris, Rabbi Yosef Chaim Sitruk. Rabbi Yosef Chaim Sitruk, he passed away, I think, 3 years ago. Okay, Rabbi Yosef Chaim was the head rabbi of France. So all of a sudden, and the Cardinal Lustiger, he died in 2007. Okay, before Cardinal Lustiger died, he called the head rabbi of France and he says, "Rabbi, I want to meet you." Okay, sure. They were public, national, they were in government together, something they called it the head rabbi of Paris and the head rabbi of France, and Sarkozy knew them both well. They would meet in national occasions, where they had the head rabbi and the head priest, and then so Cardinal Lustiger called Rabbi Sitruk, the head rabbi of France. He says, "I want to talk to you." So he talked to him, and he revealed his whole past. And he said, "Rabbi, I want you to promise me that when I die, you say Kaddish for me." Ooh, hold it. Now, here's the head rabbi of France. He's got a big halachic problem. So he said, very politely, he skirted his way out. But now he's got a problem. After that meeting, Cardinal Lustiger dies. He says, "What will I do?" He says, "Is he a Jew? Do they have to uphold a promise? This, that?" So what did he do? He went to Rabbi Avad Yosef. He says, "K'vod Arav," Maran, we call Rabbi Avad Maran. He says, "K'vod Arav, what do I do with this halachic question? Here's the Archbishop of Paris. He was born a good Jewish boy. Okay, but now, do we decide he's a meshumad? A meshumad is an apostate. An apostate is treated like someone that takes his Judaism and throws it away and willfully converts to whatever. Okay, that's an apostate. And halacha does not say nice things about an apostate. An apostate loses all his privileges in Judaism. In other words, you have to love every other Jew. Okay, apostate loses his privilege. The Chafetz Chaim talks about it. Chafetz Chaim says one may speak evil speech about an apostate. Chafetz Chaim then says, wait a second, be careful about saying evil speech about anybody, because maybe you'll start with this guy and you'll get used to the evil speech. You start with someone else. But technically, he has no privileges that a Jew has. You're not supposed to talk slander about another Jew. You're supposed to love another Jew. You're not supposed to hate another Jew. You're not supposed to lend him money and interest. You're not allowed to do any of this stuff. Okay? He's got privileges. And this is a Jew. Nowhere active, not conservative, not orthodox. Somebody says, oh, but what is second? You got to be observant. And they know that they are klal amitecha, v'afterecha kamocha, that to love your neighbors yourself, those who do the actions of yourself and uphold the Torah. Technically, hold it. Don't take the law in your own hands. Yes, that's what the Gemara says, but hold it. Since the Gemara, we also have interpretations of the Gemara, and we have rabbinical law. Rabbi Avad Yosef is rabbinical law. So when Rabbi Sitruk came to Rabbi Avad Yosef, he says, for the love, how should I act? Rabbi Avad couldn't answer. He had tears streaming down his eyes. And he says, what? He wanted Kaddish? He says, of course you say Kaddish for him. This was Rabbi Avad's answer. Of course you say Kaddish for him. So of course, he says, no. He was not an apostate. I don't care if he's the archbishop. I don't care if he became pope. He was a Tino Chinishba. He was a baby in captivity. How did he get into the Catholic Church? His parents were running away from the Nazis. They threw him to the first place. They know they could. His son could get a. Okay, the fact that we don't save a life by doing something. Don't go into technicalities. Rabbi Avad, he knew this. He knew the Gemara and Avodah Zarah. He knew Yeridea. He knew that. He said, no, the cardinal, the archbishop, was not an apostate. He was a Tino Shenishpat. He was a baby in captivity and judged that way. And therefore, he said, yes, Rabbi said, you do say Kaddish for him. And Rabbi Ovadia cried. He cried, what a mind. If this little Jewish boy, what could he have done in Torah? Can you imagine? So even though he was a sinner, he was a Jew all his life, even though he broke Shabbat, and he didn't eat kosher, okay, he was still a Jew. All right? The Gemara in Tractate Sanhedrin 44, it says, the Afal Pi she Yisrael Choite, Yisrael Hu. Even though the Jew is a sinner, he's still a Jew. Okay? The fact that a Jew makes a transgression of Torah does not mean that he loses his status and his privileges as a Jew. That's it. Okay? Now, especially because of the circumstances of the Archbishop's parents, that they had to hide their son in the church during the Holocaust. So he's therefore deemed, Rabbi Ovadia Yosef deemed him a tinok shenishbat, a baby taken captive without the benefit of a Torah education, and not an apostate. All right? Why tell the story? We're talking about this answer also appears in the Yalkut Yosef. Rabbi Yitzchak Yosef, we brought this story in the Yalkut Yosef. This is one of the, and we're talking about, this is what's called in Halacha a revusa. It's almost an exaggeration. So if the Archbishop of Paris, you can't come much higher to Catholic Church than that. Next one up is the Pope. If he can be a baby in captivity, then that means anyone can be. Hold it. The Gemara, where's the whole term Tinok Shenishba come from? That comes from the Gemara, Tractate Shabbat 66b. Look, Gemara, Tractate Shabbat 66b, talk about Tinok Shenishba. This is a child that was either kidnapped, not only kidnapped, taken away. It used to be in Europe that the gypsies would kidnap Jewish children. And apparently in Eastern Europe, it was a big problem. Okay, and then the child would grow and grow up among non-Jews, like Cardinal Lustiger, okay, who was really Aaron Levi. So the Rambam widens the definition of Tinok Shenishbat, and the Rambam includes in his definition of Tinok Shenishbat that's mentioned in the Gemara, the Rambam says that a Tinok Shenishba is any child that failed to receive a Torah education. Any child. What's a Torah education? A Torah education means a Torah education. A Torah, an Orthodox Emuna Torah education. Which therefore, from this Rambam's ruling, anybody that doesn't grow up in a complete Torah observant home has the status of Tinok Shenishba. Hold it, we're now going to get to the latter-day Poskim. So work our way back from the Rambam. The Rambam is 950 years ago, and let's go to the Beis Yosef. And the Beis Yosef, we're talking about 350 years ago. Okay, so Beis Yosef says like this. The Beis Yosef says that a Tinok Shenishba, one is not allowed to lend him money with interest. And he really goes far in this. In Yeridea, the Beis Yosef talks about the children of the Karaim. The Karaim, it used to be before, when they were still, that the Karaim, the Karaites, when they had two legitimately Jewish parents, when they had a Jewish mother. Okay, Jewish mother. Now, it's a little bit different because they intermarried, and the Karaim are not, back then they were pure. At the time of Beis Yosef, they were still pure Jews. But what happened, they had the sect of Jews. What's Karaim? It means that they're verbatim written Torah. They never received the oral Torah. They never accepted the oral Torah. But they were Jews. So they said, even though, so some people want to say, listen, they're heretics. If you don't accept it, they're heretics. But he says, no, maybe